Hi everybody, welcome to Jin's Wall Street News. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics reported last Thursday that the Producer Price Index jumped 0.9% in July from the previous month, above expectations of a 0.2% gain. On last Thursday after the bell, Applied Materials, an American semiconductor and display equipment company, announced financial results for its third quarter ended July 27th, and it expects its fiscal Q4 revenue to drop 8% sequentially. The U.S. Census Bureau announced last Friday that advanced estimates of U.S. retail and food services sales increased 0.5% in July month over month. According to the Federal Reserve, industrial production decreased 0.1% in July from a month ago. Atlanta Fed's GDPNow estimates U.S. real GDP grew at 2.5% for the third quarter. Dan Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, posted on X on Sunday, quote, "I continue to believe the market melts up till Thanksgiving." The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Thursday that the Producer Price Index jumped 0.9% in July from the previous month, much higher than expectations of a 0.2% increase, up 3.3% over the last 12 months. The index for final demand goods rose 0.7% in July. The BLS quote, a quarter of the July advance in the index for final demand goods can be traced to prices for fresh and dry vegetables, which jumped 38.9%. The index for final demand services increased 1.1% in July, the largest gain since March 2022. The BLS quote, 30% of the July rise in prices for final demand services can be traced to margins for machinery and equipment wholesaling, which jumped 3.8%. On last Thursday after the bell, Applied Materials, an American semiconductor and display equipment company, announced financial results for its fiscal third quarter ended July 27th. The company reported $7.3 billion of revenue, up 3% sequentially above its previously estimated revenue of $7.2 billion. Operating income increased 3% from $2.17 billion in Q2 to $2.23 billion in Q3. When it comes to the guidance, the company expects current quarter's revenue to be $6.7 billion, down 8% quarter over quarter. Shares of Applied Materials tumbled about 14% on last Friday. Applied Materials President and CEO Gary Dickerson said during the conference call, quote, "As you see in our guidance, we expect revenue and earnings to be sequentially lower in our fourth quarter, primarily due to uncertainties in our China business." For Applied's business, there are three main factors that mute our outlook for the quarter ahead. First is digestion of capacity in China. Second is a large backlog of pending export license applications, where we have taken a conservative position and assume none of these licenses will be issued in the next quarter. And third is non-linear demand from leading-edge customers, which is primarily linked to market concentration and fab timing. The U.S. Census Bureau announced last Friday that advanced estimates of U.S. retail and food services sales increased 2.5% from $722.6 billion in June to $726.3 billion in July, up 3.9% from $698.9 billion in July last year. In addition, so-called control group sales, excluding food services, auto dealers, building materials stores, and gas stations, which are used for GDP calculation, rose 0.5% from the previous month. According to the Federal Reserve, industrial production ticked down 0.1% from 104.1 in June to 104 in July, up 1.4% from 102.5 in July last year. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, GDPNow estimates U.S. real GDP growth at 2.5% for the third quarter, unchanged from August 7th, updated based on the CPI, PPI, retail sales, and industrial production. 10-year Treasury yield jumps to 4.31% after the PPI came in surprisingly hotter than expected on last Thursday. In response to the recent data such as the PPI and the applied materials earnings, then Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, posted on X on Sunday, quote, "I continue to believe the market melts up till Thanksgiving, with easy money addicted investors emboldened by signs at Jackson Hole of upcoming rate cuts. I also continue to believe the pull forward in demand being seen will result in weaker than expected holiday sales, but am positioned for rally till then." Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.